Hello everybody and welcome, my name is Giuseppe Improta and this is the first Light Dark Academy vlog of 2019. So in this vlog I want to go a little bit over the reasons why I haven't been uploaded anything for I don't know how long and what are the plans for 2019. First of all, I want to thank you all for supporting the videos, for sending me comments and messages, and for leaving comments online on YouTube. It's been greatly appreciated, and it's really nice to see that the content helped people to improve their skills and to improve their knowledge and create new things. So I'm really happy, and this is really fulfilling for me, and this really motivated me to change my setup for 2019 and being more productive and put out more content. It's really important for me that this channel helps people, and knowing that you guys have appreciated the content and find it useful and you want more, it's been really a joy for me, and so thank you very much for that. So the reason why I haven't been uploading the content is lazy. I have been lazy, and there is no excuses for that. I am a really strong believer that if you want to do something, you have to find the energy and the time, and you always can. I think that is a matter of priorities and is a matter of sheer will to be able and succeed in creating what you want to create or in doing what you want to do. And so I'm not gonna sit here and say, oh, I was too busy for my work and I was too late in the evening, because the truth is I was lazy. I could have done it if I really wanted to, but yes, I was tired for sure coming home after an hour drive and long hours of work, but if I really wanted to do it, I could have done it, and there are no excuses for that. So apologies to all the people that follow this channel for such a long delay in updating a video, and for such lack of communication and lack of content. And I really hope that 2019 will be different, and that I can actually create more content and grow this channel, because it's really one of my goals for 2019, and I really want to do it. I want to help people out and share the knowledge that I learn day by day. So this is my hope for this year. In terms of what's changed for this year in order to create content more easily. So I was thinking, why is it so hard to come home and record and create content? And one of the problems that I found is that basically the setup stage of recording took too much time. It was too much of a messy process. So you have to come home, you have to set the lights, put the light in place, plug the lights in, plug the microphone, cables here, cables there, put the camera, set up the camera, the microphone is not attached. I mean, there are a lot of things that obviously you have to set up, the exposure and all sorts of things when you record the video. So I think that was a big part of the reason why I did not, actually sit here and talk to you and record a vlog or a video or do something to keep the channel active. And so what I've done now, I bought a couple of lights that I have placed in the studio here, in the studio part of my house, and I've also bought a wireless microphone. And what this does is gives me the opportunity to basically just hit the power surge button, turn everything on, and just turn on camera on, and everything is ready to record. So this stuff doesn't move around too much and stays there, and so when I come home late, I still don't have to do much work in order to start recording. And I think this is gonna be a real big difference, and it's gonna make everything flow more easily. Of course, there is still the editing stage, but I've been recording videos for also another channel that I have started which is related to wildlife and nature photography and building vehicles and expeditions and stuff. And I think I'm more fluent now in talking to the camera, and so I hope that I have to do less editing, and we can just be, and I can just be quicker in getting these videos done, because at the end of the day, your messages were really powerful, and so I feel really charged by them, and I really want to get this done quickly and efficiently, and I want to give you all the best content that I can produce. For 2019, what am I gonna do? Well, there were a lot of things that I wanted to do last year that I did not do. And I think people really enjoyed when I started placing lights and talking about lights in 3D. And so I'm gonna do a lot of more videos like that, but I also wanna really analyze the bidimensional side of things, in terms of art history, checking out paintings, checking out movies as well, cinematography, and also I'm sort of thinking that Light Dark Academy is not just a tool for 3D people, but is more like a lighting tool for artists in general, because everything that we talk about here has to do with lights, exposure, and composition and colors, and these are things that basically relate to every sort of artistic field, so not just 3D lighting. Of course, I'm gonna focus on the 3D lighting in terms of software and all that kind of stuff, but I'm thinking more and more to also integrate more like photography shootings, for example, and we're also gonna do like outside shooting and on-set shooting, and make everything like more sort of comprehensive experience for creating content that is not just 3D, but is more like to enrich and improve the culture and like this artistic skills of everybody that follows. And I think this is gonna be a nice way of having a more variety in terms of content. So we don't always talk about 3D, but we also talk about like art and architecture and composition and shooting and pictures and photography and cinematography. I mean, there is a lot to talk about, and in these days I was actually analyzing a little bit of paintings and studying a little bit of paintings, and there are so many analogies with the work that we do as a 3D artist and lighters especially, in the way we handle exposure and tones, and especially now that I'm working more in the animated feature film production, there is a lot more creativity involved there, and you have more freedom of manipulating a little bit the image. So these are all things that we will talk about, and one other thing that I want to do, I want to keep doing some more vlogs. So vlogs will not be really tutorials, or will not be really explanation videos. They will be more like my experience for the day, for the week, for the month. I don't know the frequency of those yet, and will be more like a talk between me and you, exactly like I'm recording right now, about what am I doing and what kind of problems I'm facing. And I think this is a very good way of sharing problems with you guys, and especially if you are not working in a production yet, and you're working in a small studio, or you are trying to create a portfolio to get into a bigger production. I think it's good for you to know what kind of problems you face during the production stage. So I have to see with why is the GoPro turning? GoPro, turn off. GoPro, turn off. GoPro, turn off. GoPro, stop recording. GoPro, turn off. I have no idea why, but the GoPro started recording by itself, so whatever. Again? GoPro, stop recording. GoPro, turn off. It must be my Italian accent. Anyway, what was I saying? Yeah, so I'm gonna have to talk to the guys at work, and I wanna see if I can actually make some interviews with the supervisors that are there and the head of the department. They are all really nice, so I don't think that will be a problem. And I think, trying to bring you a little bit into this production world, like I don't see much of this kind of content, and I think it could be really interesting if that can be done, according to the safety regulations of producing movies and, NDAs and all that kind of stuff that is really strict. So I'll see what I can do in that sense. So in terms of other things that I'm doing, I am planning a trip to the Arctic Circle for this summer after the production of the current movie I'm working on, which I don't know if I can say which movie is it. I'm gonna have to ask to work tomorrow at work if I can say that publicly. Publicly? Well, you got the idea. And so I am planning to do this trip at the North Pole, at the Arctic Circle, in the extreme north of Canada. And for that, I'm building a van, a Delica, Mitsubishi Delica van. And I am at a good point in the build, but it's still a lot of work in terms of cabinets, and I have to install the suspensions and do a bunch of things. And if you are interested in this kind of stuff, I can leave you the link to the videos that I'm gonna start uploading starting this week, where I have recorded the whole build of the van. So I bought this van and now I am equipping it as an expedition vehicle. And some people like that, some people don't. So if you wanna check it out, I'll leave it in the description below. So this keeps me pretty busy already because it's a big project. It's a lot of work in terms of electrical system and building the cabinets and make sure that the engine works, all the roof rack setting up, and there is a lot of things involved there, but it's an interesting experience if you haven't done it before. I've done a bunch of vehicles, I've built a bunch of vehicles already, so it's not my first one, but hopefully this one I can keep it for a while. So another thing that I am exploring right now is this. So I bought this the other day, and this is the Oculus Rift. Is the VR helmet? How do you call it? And it's actually really cool because I think there are very big opportunities for 3D artists into the VR for the future, especially I think in the next 5 years. I am pretty sure that this headset quality will skyrocket, will become very, very good, and it's already really incredible to wear that thing and be able to move around and check things out. It's just an amazing tool. So I want to make sure that I know what to do once the time comes, and maybe start looking into producing some content for that too. Another thing that I'm using that for is actually driving simulator. So less of a productive thing, and I don't have much time to play with it, but it's actually pretty fun and pretty incredible how having the VR helmet and driving in a racing simulation actually relates to reality and really improves your muscle memory and helps you really try maneuvers that otherwise would be difficult to try. And it's actually working. I can't believe it. So I'm really stunned by the VR stuff, and I really hope to explore that better. A lot of these YouTube videos now do this, like proposition, well, what's that called? I don't even remember what's that called. Proposition for the new year. I honestly don't like that kind of video because I think it's bullshit. Like, why do you need to do a proposition for the new year? Do a proposition for the next week or for tomorrow. Just start seeing what you want to do tomorrow. Be productive starting tomorrow. Like, a year is such a big period of time already, and you might say so many things and in 3 weeks you forgot what you said, or it's just too far away and you don't do it. So I'm not a big fan of like proposing for something for the year, but I think that having a list of goals that you want to achieve is good, and you know, analyzing what went wrong with your previous year and how you can improve the new year, it's definitely a great thing to do. I have done it as well, and on this topic I want to give you two advices based on my experience. The first one is what we talked about before, of removing and cutting everything that frustrates you in between you and the creative process. So if there is something that you can streamline and optimize in order to be more effective and more productive, you should definitely find the time and put the effort there and the research that you need to do in order to make it work and in order to streamline your process, because I am sure that this is a huge improvement on your everyday productivity. And this is true at work as well. You know, like if you have to do a lot of shots and they require the same sort of thing, you want to find a system to replicate that and make sure that, you know, you don't have to spend the same amount of time per each shot, but you spend more time on the first shot and then make sure that that solution is clonable, is replicable onto the other shots. And this is to do with the Pareto principle, where you do 80% of the work with 20% of you know, the resources. But we will talk about this in a different time, in a different video. So this is my first advice. Cut everything that, you know, is taking too much time from your productivity. This can be the setup of a video, you know, like the lights and everything that is related to that. This can be the audio setup. This can be I don't know, like anything really that is between the final stage of that particular task and you. So this is one thing. And the second thing is I was setting up the studio to, you know, optimize a little bit all this process of recording videos and stuff. I also set up the library, the bookshelf there, and reorganized things, added a couple of glass there to avoid dust, all sort of this sort of stuff. And I found a lot of gear that I bought in the past years, and it made me think a lot on how much resources, time and money I have spent on gear that then I barely used. And I found things that I bought probably 9 years ago or 8 years ago or something that I've used only a few times. And I remember that at the time I was so convinced that without that specific little thing I could not create good images. I could not create you know, like what I wanted to do. And today I look back at that and I say, what a stupid thing. Like, you really don't need that much to create a nice image. Yes, there are situations where you need a light or you need this or you need that, but you know, I've always been, and I'm still like that. I've always been really picky in having the latest gear, the most advanced gear, the most perfect screen, or the most perfect monitor, or the most perfect light, in order to make sure that I could create the most perfect piece. But then in the end, you know, I didn't even do much. And this is something that I want to share with you, because I think it's a big problem that many people face. Which to you know, like, wait for the perfect tool set before getting into doing stuff. And so after streamlining your productivity, cutting all the things that are superfluous or that can be done faster, the other thing is buy less and do more. I think this is really important. I am really guilty of this kind of you know, behavior. I always want to get the best things I can get before I start doing something, and this is really bad, because in the end you feel you know, like you can't do things, but it's not true, and then you fall in this loop of having to buy expensive things, which means you have to make money somehow to buy these things, and this is taking the time of you from producing. and creating things. So buy just what you need. I know that is hard and is maybe you have heard this before, but you really don't need that much to create something that is meaningful and beautiful, especially with all the tools we have today. Like I have bought this GoPro Hero Black 7, I suppose, yeah, and it's incredible what this little thing can do, and the stabilization in camera, electronic stabilization is just mind-blowing with the little things what you can do. And everything is going that direction. Everything is becoming better, and the tools that filmmakers or creatives in general have are so powerful already that you don't need to buy like the highest gear or the highest camera, the most expensive camera in order to create something beautiful. And I was actually looking at my collection of cameras in the shelf, and I was thinking that when I started doing digital photography, I don't even know how many years ago, like I was using a Nikon D70, and that camera is still good. It still takes excellent pictures and it's still plenty good. It does not have like all the options that we have today, the extreme dynamic range and all that kind of stuff, but it's really good. And we were able to print big images out of that camera for commercial uses. So really, guys, like especially for the young followers that are in school and think that they need to spend a lot of money to buy really good gear, the gear you will be able to buy later once you are strong enough in terms of your portfolio, in terms of your abilities and skills, and you make a lot of money. But if you don't produce now, this is gonna be delayed. Like you won't have as much stuff done, you won't have as much you won't have a mean of showing your skills, showing your abilities. So focus on creating things and focus less on buying things. If you can, borrow stuff, ask friends, or if you can put together a bunch of friends to buy that one thing, and then you can borrow it according to where you need it. And this is also gonna teach you, like sharing things and also facing production issues, because these kind of things happen in the production world all the time. And you don't always have what you need all the time, or sometimes you don't have it at all because there is no budget. So if you can avoid to place yourself in that kind of situation, I think that's really beneficial for your career, for your future, and also teaches you the skills of make what you have work for what you need, instead of wanting more and always relying on that. From the town I'm from, Napoli, people really use the few things they have to maximize their life. And so I'm a big sustainer of this kind of mindset, where you make what you have work at 300% and maximize the productivity with what you have. I think I can close this video here. I just want to say a Happy New Year to everybody, and I really want you guys to focus on what you want to do, be productive, set your goals and look forward to them. Cut everything that is, distracting you from them. Social media and Facebook and stuff. Oh my God, I have stopped using Facebook for the most part right now, and I have gained in productivity. Like instead of always scrolling, like my thumb was having issues here. Like instead of scrolling so much your phone, you just read a book or study something, read an interesting article. Try to keep yourself focused. Young people are starting having issues on focusing for 1 hour on one thing without checking stuff around. So this is gonna be a problem, I think, for the future generations. And I think where there is a problem, there is always the edge for you. So you can always take advantage of that problem to your advantage. And if you learn to focus, this is gonna become a skill for you to be able to focus and get things done faster and better. I don't need to keep talking anymore. Happy New Year. Write down your goals now. Don't delay. Make sure you have a clear mind of where you want to go. This is the number one problem, is that people don't have a clear mind on where they want to go, what they want to do. So write that down and cut all the superfluous, all the useless things that you don't need, and focus on the goal and get it done. This is my wish for you for 2019, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.